So let me get this straight. A Japanese game creator that's undergoing cancer treatment got their entire money taken from them and halted by their bank because they make adult video games. And this creator went on, as you can see with this post, to basically say that they are self-funded, self-employed, they own their business, basically they survive off of making their video games, it is their livelihood. And the bank basically shutting down any form of transactions, halting transactions, and pretty much taking their money away from them and not allowing them to access their money, more or less is basically the bank telling them, oh, you're gonna die to cancer because you're not gonna be able to use your money anymore because we don't care. And that is just so evil. Like that's actually just, my mind is really trying to process just the level of evil from that. Like, it is so insane that a bank that its primary job is literally just to hold your money and process your payments is somehow wanting to be the arbiter of like, oh, you can't use your money for legal purchases and legal goods or anything because we want to protect our brand. And I'm just like, nobody gives a fuck about what your bank is processing or not if it's legal. Like, if it is a legal transaction and you're basically allowing people to make legal purchases, nobody cares what it is at all. Now, there might be a few nut jobs, but in the grand scheme of things, they do not matter. Basically, process the payment, allow people to use their money. If it's legal within that country and legal around the world and all that, allow it to happen. There is no reason a bank should get in front of you or a payment processor should get in front of you from using your own legal money. And the fact that the bank just did this to this game creator, like I said, they might as well just said, oh, you're gonna die, we don't care. Just, you know, you're not gonna be able to use your money now and be able to survive to pay for cancer treatment. Like, dude, holy hell. You know what's so sad about this situation? Is that this really just goes to show the complete mask off of all these payment processors and banks and how they legitimately don't even need to hide it anymore. They don't even need to hide just how malicious and evil they are and how targeted it is, not just against the Japanese, but just honestly different sectors within like certain media. For instance, like adult content that is still legal. Even if you dislike icky adult content, you don't like adult games, you don't like these NSFW games, it's legal. And the creator here even outlined that they literally have checked all the laws. They even brought up to the bank that literally halted their transactions at any form of money they can make, basically showcased they are following the law, completely legal, they showed proof, and they pay their taxes, they're not doing anything wrong whatsoever, but the bank still decided to give them a bullshit ring around, basically saying, oh yeah, you know, because of certain reasons, we cannot process your payments, basically giving them the most PR, stonewall response without clarifying why they did it, because even though it's clear that it should be completely illegal, they're getting away with it because they just hold so much power over people. And even this creator themselves even stated that the fees of being able to fight this bank and be able to actually get their payments processed and allow them to access their money properly with the bank, it's not worth it because lawyer fees and everything would drain them dry. And they even outlined that they're currently going through cancer treatment, so they can't like they can't afford spending hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially fighting a bank when they need to be able to make money right now to be able to afford their situation of being able to survive from cancer. Like, dude, this is actually just so fucking evil. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is just some stuff that you see from, like, a comic series, or a manga, or in a TV show. Like, this is just so blatantly evil. Like, I can't help but just be, like, in just such shock. Because I cannot believe a bank would do something like this to someone that legitimately it's not just because they have cancer, but it's like, they prove that everything is legal. They prove that all they're doing, they're following censorship laws and everything, but the bank still denied them and gave them basically no reason, and they know they're not going to probably push forward with it and fight back against it because, one, fighting a bank is going to take a lot of money because they have a lot of money, and secondly, they don't have a lot of time because they're going for cancer treatment. And so, in the bank's eyes, they're probably willing, like, oh, if you do sue us, well, we'll just stall you for years, and then it won't be our problem no more. That's probably what they're thinking. So that's another layer of evil to this entire equation. So, like, oh my god. Like, there's an article already covering this as well, which I will link to in the description. And this is the author's initial post if you want to read it and pause the video. But, dude, anyone that is defending these banks for censoring stuff or payment processors, I think you are subhuman. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because this is actually crazy. You have an individual that literally has to survive off of making their livelihood through these adult games. And I want to re-emphasize this. Even if you don't like adult content, you don't like adult games, you don't like the themes and stuff within them, at the end of the day, it's just a game. And the fact that this creator, just in the span of a night, lost all their source of revenue and being able to make money is horrifying. Because if this can happen to this creator, it will happen to more people. And it won't just stop at the adult game sector. It will spread and get much worse. I mean, we have a recent example of this that is just very easy. Doki Doki Literature Club. Doki Doki doesn't have any sexual content, any erotic content, or anything like that. It is strictly a game about mental health, mental illness, and just overall psychological. It is a dark game, but at the end of the day, it's just fictional content. It's a visual novel. It doesn't have that icky adult content that people, easily target. And so the fact that Doki Doki was hit literally a week ago and completely removed globally off the Google Play Store, which basically you can classify it as a horror game, that means that if this can happen to this creator, it will happen to more creators that make adult games, but also eventually it will seep down and entrench itself into horror games, psychological games, and maybe one day even shooter games, like FPS games. That will happen. It is absolutely a frightening future we're walking towards, and there's so many people that legitimately are not either A, speaking up about this, they're willing to stay silent about this, or they're actively encouraging this to happen because they think that this censorship and debanking will never affect them. It will only affect the things they dislike and never target them, which is just so freaking insane because, once again, Doki Doki is such a very good example of how the slippery slope is getting worse. So, I am just so devastated, and every time I see, as I'm continuing talking about this, it's making me angrier and upset for this creator. And honestly, if I could, I would donate to this creator if I could, but they don't have a donation link up. But what I will ask, I will link their post in the description. Guys, go send them some support. Like, for instance, give them a good comment or whatever. You don't have to say I sent you, but send them a really good comment or something, because obviously, I could not imagine the level of stress and just, like, sadness and anger I would be in if I was in this situation. Like, for instance, like, if I've been making content for years, and then suddenly, in just the span of a night, I lost the ability to make money for no reason at all, basically, just because I make an adult game that is still technically legal, and then, on top of that, you're going through cancer treatment to survive and not die, and you have to survive off of this money you're making from your adult games. Please just send them support. I know for a fact if I was in their situation, I would want good comments. I would want some positivity in my life. So please go do that. Let's do something good today. Let's send some positivity to this creator. But I will leave it at that. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. I love you guys. Chibi out.